Hello friends, it's Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Mountain Gunsmithing, and today we're talking about an AK. Yes, an AK of all things. This particular AK has a little something interesting inside. It started out life as an Yugo M70AB with a underfolding stock, and we're going to talk about why you don't see more trigger modifications to AKs, and what it actually took to get this thing running, because it was a lot. Stick around, we'll find out. Okay, let's start out with first a little bit of information. This is, by the way, not a full auto conversion. I repeat for the bots of Facebook, not a full auto conversion. This is an FRT. That is a forced reset trigger. It literally just pushes your finger forward when the bolt cycles backwards, allowing you to pull it again once the bolt is closed. Yes, thank you for coming on the screen, Kia, there. Yes, you're being a good girl. Alright, this particular AK is a little bit awkward when the stock is folded, so I'm going to unfold it. And yes, you pretty much just press this button on this side to fold or unfold it. Once it locks into place, it's honestly still a little bit wibbly wobbly. But yeah. Yes. Alright. So, little AK manual of arms here for anyone unfamiliar with it. This is the safe position. And that's, in a full auto AK, that would be full auto. In this particular one, it's a fast trigger. And on this setting here, that would be semi-auto. But this is also still just a fast trigger. But yeah, we can pull back the bolt and you can see that the gun is unloaded. Yeah. Did I surprise you a little bit? Yeah. I know. Alright. So, this particular AK is also equipped with the remnants of night sights. You can flip up a little thing there that would have a little bit of glowing paint there. And the front side also has something similar. It has... yeah, it's already up there. A glowing... something that would be painted with a phosphorescent glowing paint. And that's our regular front sight. Adjustable just like every other AK out there. And we also have, not just a cattail in the way, but a grenade launching sight that also cuts off the gas system. Why do you come over when somebody mentions grenades? Do you really want grenades? Maybe? I don't know. Either way. We also have sling bars over here and back here at the stock folding button. And, yep. Alright, here we have, let's go ahead and take off the top cover. Yugo AKs have a little bit of a different mechanism than some. We have a button we have to push there at the side, then we can push the tab forward, and then we can take off the sheet metal cover. Which of course makes our little bit back here just kind of pop forward a little bit, but let's keep that forward for a little bit once I tell you about the trigger mechanism. Alright, so now I also demonstrate some markings here. We have, this is a Century Arms rebuild, M70AB2, and yeah, this particular one's in 7.62 by 39, which honestly is one of the better AK calibers out there. And yeah, this is kind of a mishmash of parts. No serial numbers are matching. Excuse me, yes, kind of in the way. Hang on. Alright, here we are. And now the owner of this particular AK is also fitted with a Picatinny style rail for top, left, right, and bottom of the gun in place of what would originally be the standard wood handguards. Alright, now in order to take this down a little further, we can push our recoil spring forward and just slide it right out the bolt. And we can already see a little bit of difference between this and a standard AK, but we'll talk about that here in a sec. Here's our bolt and bolt carrier along with piston, and we see a little bit of difference here. Part of the system is this cam back here, and that's what cams the trigger back forward. And we also have a rod running in this rail of the gun. Now, let me take these out a little bit more. And let's see. With the hammer forward, I can lift out the safety, and you can get a better look at the cam here. Yep, there it is. We have this bit up here is what actuates is actuated by the trip lever, and down here we have two sections. One right here is what holds the trigger, and when this particular part back here is what pushes the trigger back forward, and this holds it in place until the bolt closes. Yeah, that might make more sense here in a minute. Let's see. Let me get some more bits out here that we had to modify in order to get this to work. We have the hammer springs, which are also the trigger return spring, and we also have a little retainer plate right down in here, which we also had to modify from the original. Alright, I've loosened the retainer plate, now I can pull the pin for the trigger. Alright. We had to round off this corner of the trigger on the back. This particular, used to look like this side, but yeah, it needed to be rounded in a very specific manner. Our particular kit came with a nice handy-dandy little 3D printed guide, which was nice. And we also have, if I can tilt this out, and try not to knock parts on the floor. Here we have our trip lever. Now this particular part, it sits in the gun like this, and interacts with our cam like so. Yep. Back and forth, back and forth. There was a rib running the entire length of this, going all the way from the front to the back at about the same height as the trip bit down here. And that was really slowing down our bolt travel. It runs in the same groove as this rail here. And yeah, it was slowing down the bolt to the point where you kind of had to beat the gun closed, which was not conducive to, reliability. And that's kind of the whole point of an AK, isn't it? In any case, figuring all that out was a particular pain in the neck. And I highlight some of the differences between AKs and, say, any other platform out there in common use like the AR. AKs, they're all unique. Every single one is its own unique little snowflake. In order to get into the country, the entire receiver had to be remanufactured by someone like Century, or many other companies have done so. But yeah, there's so much variability. This particular one was a very tight AK, which is unusual. It seems to run well. We also had to use a different retainer plate than what came with the rifle, just because what came with it was a shepherd's crook, and I don't know about y'all, but I ain't dealing with all that nonsense. But in any case, let me put this back together, and I'll show you how she runs. Okay, I kind of have it put back together, and I can show you a little bit without the bolt and carrier in the way. When our safety is in the safe position, we, of course, have very little trigger movement, and yeah, the hammer does not fall. We put it in either the first or second position. And if the bolt is closed, i.e. this lever's forward, the hammer can drop, and as the gun would go off, as where the carrier reciprocates, we recock the hammer and push the back of the cam backwards. Actually, we first recock the hammer into the disconnector, and we push the trigger back forward with the cam. That puts us into the bolt traveling forward position, and for lack of a better term, and when the trip lever up here gets tripped, it will eventually push this cam back out here like that. Boop, push it forward, allowing us to pull the trigger once again. Now, let me demonstrate that with the bolt and carrier in there, as well as the spring. That way it might make a little more sense for anyone who's attempting to do something like this ever again. Yeah. Honestly, if you feel like attempting something like this, it may work in about 20% of AKs out there. And yeah, it's a pain in the neck for when it doesn't. Not if, but when. But yeah, here we are. We'll get a better angle there. All right, here we go. So, at our start of our firing sequence, trigger's on safe. And let's go middle position just for variety. It does the same in either one. But if we drop the hammer on the firing pin, boom, gun would have gone off. Or we unlock the bolt, push the hammer back to recock, cam back, pushing our finger back forward. Now we would hit the back of the receiver, continue back forward. We can't pull the trigger again because we're not in battery. At this point we would continue forward with the bolt until we get all the way closed, and then bam. And so on and so forth until you either take your finger off the trigger or you run out of ammo. Now, in this system's defense, I will say it is a fairly slow rate of fire. It is pretty easily controllable, and you can easily get off single shots. It's not so much a it's more of a nice, calm, steady. Just keep a little bit of pressure on the trigger and it should be fine. And there we go. Yep, once our thing pops back forward. But in any case, this has been an interesting project. Will I ever do one again? Maybe. Maybe if you pay me enough money. But until then, I guess we'll keep on trucking over here. We got lots more interesting projects coming. Lots more to show you. And we just want to thank you for sticking with us. If you're to this point in the video, if you found value in this content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And that really helps our channel out. Excuse me. Got a cat in the way. Excuse me. But if you want to support us more directly, head to our website at pinnaclemountaingunsmithing.com. And feel free to fill out our Contact Us page. And we'll hopefully get back with you about any gunsmithing project you can come up with. We do the weird, we do the unexpected, we do the wild. And if we can't do it, we'll figure out somebody who can. In any case, this has been Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Mountain Gunsmithing, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye.